were only received towards the close of the year, and the evaluations and the approval were only completed in the following year, which resulted in the funds allocated for empowerment loans not having been disbursed by the close of the year. The balance amounting to 220,581 kwacha 91 ngwe resulted from interest earned, which is 36,005 kwacha to 64 ngwe from 2022 allocation, and interest earned and loan repayments amounting to 157,959 kwacha 42 ngwe and 140,213 kwacha respectively, as per audited financial statements. Action taken. Management has since allocated the balance together with 2025 loans. See Appendix 11. Remedial measures. The local authority will continue to ensure that loans are disbursed within the same financial year to approved beneficiaries. Appendix 9. Failure to recover loans. Management response. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor regarding failure to recover loans amounting to 613,740 kwacha. The failure to recover soft loans was caused by the beneficiaries not honoring the loan agreement as the loan agreement terms. Action taken. Management has written demand letters to loan defaulters and in the process of escalating the matter to law enforcement agents in order to recover more funds. We wish to state that some loan beneficiaries have responded positively after receiving demand letters. The overall recoveries as at 31st March 2025 was amounting to 1,236,711 kwacha 9 ngwe. Remedial measures. The local authority will continue to conduct sensitization and empowerment loans to all beneficiaries in the district on the importance of paying back the loans and the relevant risks of not paying back. The local authority will also conduct the capacity building in loan management. Appendix 10. Secondary boarding and skill development bursaries. Management response. Cause of the query. Secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor concerning the analysis of secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Out of all the approved beneficiaries, only a limited number reported for skill development bursary to their respective training institutions. In contrast, all approved secondary school bursaries recipients successfully reported to their designated schools. Action taken. Management engaged the community and sensitized them on the importance of skills training and encouraged them to attend training as the opportunity the skills provide is a game changer. See Appendix 13. Remedial measures. The local authority will continue to sensitize communities on the availability of funding under the skills development bursaries and ensure that more youth can be trained in various skills. Appendix 13. Analysis of performance of desks. Management response. Analysis of performance of desks, of which 355 desks amounting to 245,000 were not delivered, and this was caused by lead time that spilled into the following year. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the 355 desks amounting to 245,000 were delivered and relevant documents are available for verification. See Appendix 14. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to adhere to budget guidelines and recommendations made by Auditor General. This marks the end of submission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that wonderful presentation. Before I allow points of clarifications, I want to inform you and the entire House that we are live on Parliament TV and also the social media platforms, and you'll be seeing our personnel from Parliament TV coming in and out time and again. They are shooting for other programs, but however, I wanted to inform you that we are live on Parliament TV. It's now time for points of clarifications. Honorable Member for Mitete.
Chair, thank you so very much. I'm restrained, but work is work.
Patriot.
Mukela Ngombe.
Page?
Yes, Chair.
There are no pages here.
Oh, you should have
Page
from 7 coming.
There are no pages on my page.
From this number from 7 coming backwards.
But Mukela Ngombe.
Are you able to pick page 7?
The second project. The first one, now the second
I propose that we number for ease of our program. Let's go to page 7.
Where is page 7?
Okay, let's start from specific audit findings.
Yes.
That is page 2.
Yes.
Write page 2 there.
2,
Specific audit findings, page 2.
3,
Dr. Manza. Yes, 3. The 7 is where there's a schedule. You see somewhere there, it's written 7. There's a schedule for verification, status, and grants, on grants. Yes.
Chair, now page 3. I think it goes all the way up to page 5.
Okay.
That's where the response is, damages and stuff like. But there's a history. I'm trying to follow a history. First, it was a zip school at Kambuya. Then now changed to Mukela Ngombe. But the change was in May or June. The award of this contract at Mukela Ngombe in April, the year 2023. So just to shed some light. Here is a zip school funded from World Bank. Now there is also CDF. Maybe if you give us a proper background, it will help your committee. Are you following CS? The mind is okay. All right. Are you able to give us just some clarifications? You were awarded, according to this, April 2023. But May and June, you were changing from Kambuya to Mukela Ngombe. I thought it should have been April, you change, then May, June, you award. But maybe in CHAVUMA. Chair, just to start from there. And then up to today, I've seen at least a good number you've done well. But up to today, the appendix 2B, the pictorial picture, that's where we are up to today. Just those two clarifications. Chair, thank you very much.
Okay, Council Secretary, you can start from there.
Thank you, Chair.
Clarify.
What happened that when the submissions were made to the CDF committee, the community were not aware about the ZIPO project. So after the CDF committee had sat and approved the art project that is supposed to go to Kambuye, that's where now Ministry of Education communicated that at that in that area or that school, they have allocated another school which is funded under World Bank. Hence the decision of changing the project site from Kambuye, because they had already benefited. So they wanted the other project to benefit within the same ward, that is Kambuya Mukerangombe ward. So the project was shifted to Mukerangombe ward.
Honorable Member for Mitete.
On 21st April, Council engaged Dema Construction to build at Mukerangombe. You've seen this, eh? But in the detail here, the change from Kambuya is in June and May.
Yes.
Then,
You hold on until...
just here, thank you very much. Here is Education Board for CHAVUMA. You don't even work together as one. No wonder, Chair, the DCs said now let them come so that we don't have such issues. Because you should have known. There's a project going on at Kambuya. You don't know. You engage someone from Mukerangombe. Then it should have been a Kambuya project in April. But in April it was Mukerangombe. Was it Mukerangombe and Kambuya? Why did you change from Kambuya to Mukerangombe, which you had already had an engagement with Dema? That's why I'm failing to do what?
To understand.
To follow. Yes.
Council Secretary, let's give him a chance.
There was a ZIP project at Kambuya. You engaged Dema at Mukerangombe in April. Then in June you change again from Kambuya to Mukerangombe. How?
Council Secretary, clarify on the dates.
Thank you, Chair. What I was explaining is that the project was first allocated to Kambuye.
When?
That was in April 2023.
Okay.
So when the applications were being made, submitted, they were not aware. We are not aware of the ZIP project, and that project was not there at Mukerangombe then.
Okay.
So after the approval of that project, then the local authority, we did the tendering process and awarded to Dema Construction. So
At
after
Mukerangombe?
No, at Kambuye.
When?
That was was it May? Yes.
Let's give him chance. Let's let him exhaust.
That was in May. Hence the decision now to change the project, that Kambuye has already benefited, is benefiting
From ZIP.
from ZIP. So it's better this project is shifted from Kambuye to Mukerangombe, but within the same ward. By then the contractor had already been awarded, was already on site in
All right.
Kambuye.
Great. Go to page 3. Are you there, CS?
Yes.
Start reading. Start reading the very first sentence. On which date?
Page 3.
CS, read. Switch off your mic, Honorable, if he's reading. Yes.
On which one?
They start from the first.
Page
On
3.
21st April 2023.
Continue.
On 21st April 2023, the council engaged DEMA Construction and the general dealers for the construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Mukerangombe
Yes.
Primary
So wait just there. April at where?
Mukerangombe.
But you were telling us to say this was awarded at what? Kambuye. Could this be a mix-up in dates? Just with what you've told us.
Let's give each other a chance. Once he's on the floor, honorable member, once you are speaking, he should switch off the mic. Yes, then when he's responding, also switch off your mic.
You said first the award was given to DEMA to construct a 1x3 at Kambuye in April. What you are reading here
Is different.
it is Mukerangombe, where in April. The change now comes in May and June. So you clarify. That's why you see, as I said, I'm restrained. And after this, I'll keep quiet.
No, you can't keep quiet. You're doing very well. You have spotted it correctly. What you have said, honorable member, is correct. The presentation from the CS is opposite. April you awarded at Mukerangombe and not Kambuya. But when you are making a presentation, you say no. First, they were given at DEMA was given at Kambuya, and upon realizing that Kambuya had already benefited from a Z project, that's when you moved to Mukerangombe. That's what you presented. But what you have presented in terms of the write-up is different. Allow Honorable for Musevonga then Mufumbu.
Just a short one, Chairperson. We have two places here and we have the CDF fund. So where is this classroom block under CDF? Is it Mukerangombe? Is it Kambuye?
Thank you, Honorable. What I was explaining that the first project was allocated to Kambuye. I think that was the same date. I think there's a mix-up. There's just a mix-up with the way our able auditors picked it. So what I'm explaining to you, even other documents, evidence that we have, or guide, that the way it was captured. So I agree with the honorable member that the way it's coming out, if you check from this narrative here, it's coming from the auditors. That's how they picked it. But the real situation is that the project was first allocated to Kambuye.
So let me respond to Honorable Mulunda's question. Where is the classroom block?
Yes, Chair, the classroom block is at Mukerangombe now. That's where it is.
Okay, follow up.
Why didn't you guide the auditors? If it's there, why didn't you give them that information?
Chair, the explanation were given, except I may say that how it was captured, that's how the mixed up is. But you can confirm from our evidence that we have. Thank you, Chair.
You have not answered this question. His question is very specific, simple. No, just repeat the question.
Another short one. You know, Council Secretary, we want you to help us write a report. Now, if you are jumbling in your responses, if you are not well coordinated, then you give us problems. I asked a question. Okay, there is this two places conflicting. Now, where is the building? You said the building is somewhere. Is it at Mukerangombe? We appreciate. Now, why didn't you give that information to those people? Again, you say, no, I don't know why they captured. You see, don't disturb us, because we want the Secretariat to pick up the points and be able to generate a report. You tell us, because you had an opportunity, you cannot come here and start accusing these people that they have captured in their report something that you didn't agree. That is wrong, isn't it? You had an opportunity, and you should have resolved that with them, and then you give us the position. Once you have given us that position, then we are able to capture it through our secretariat. It's as simple as all that.
B.
So, you see, you have a problem in managing the audit process. What we are seeing is that even when you realize that this was the case, you couldn't engage with the auditors. You'd rather come here and give a different version. So you are giving us a problem. As we rely on the written information, what comes to us, and at that time we did not correct it, we don't rely on your verbal presentations. Mainly you should be speaking to the written text. But this is the only evidence that we have. Other than this, you should have brought the addendum or other things. But on this particular project, we want to see, why didn't you engage? And we're asking this question, it's a general question, and an observation from this committee, that councils, you don't care. Actually, whatever comes, even if you, as long as it will give you an opportunity to come and appear here, fearing that when you resolve these matters, you have no opportunity to come here. So these audits are just a repetition, and have become a tradition, a function that you have to go. So you create audit queries when they are supposed to be dropped. That's the concern coming from Honorable Mulunda. And it gives us a problem. What did we capture for our report? You hear that?
Thank you, Chair. Apologies. We have taken note, Chair.
Thank you. Our Honorable Kamondo has been itching to make an inquiry. Honorable Kamondo.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, it's not even itching. Just some points of clarifications on the same Mukela Ngombe.
Okay.
Yes. There are two issues actually on this query. The first one, actually, when you look at page 3, is failure to recover the advance payment. And then the second one is failure to compute and collect liquidated damages from a terminated contract. Now, for the sake of the listeners out there, allow me, Chair, just to read the first query, so that they are able to follow us very well before I ask some points of clarifications. On the 26th of March 2024, the council and the contractor had agreed that the contractor should refund 68,058 kwacha out of the 145,000 that was paid as advance payment. The balance of 68,058 kwacha was arrived at after deducting the value of 50 pockets of cement and 1,480 blocks that the contractor had left on site and can be used for construction. So here is the situation whereby this contractor had 50 pockets of cement and also about 1,480 blocks. Then there was a balance, so they did the computation, and there was a balance which was supposed to be paid. So from there, we started from there. The query is failure to recover advance payment. I wanted to find out from CS why it took too long for you. Why did you wait for the auditors to come in order actually to start the process of recovering advance payment and compute the corrected liquidated damages from the terminated contract? That is number one. Then number two, what happened with the 1,408 blocks? You have not given evidence to the fact that to show to this committee I'm sure, maybe, I don't know, whether the auditors saw the blocks and also the 50 pockets you have not demonstrated to show, to give us the evidence that indeed these you collected them as a council when you are doing the computation. Then the other one, you have told your committee that this contractor has started paying. I also wanted you to just show the committee that indeed this is the amount of money that has been paid by this contractor. And then also maybe how much would this school cost at the end of the construction? If it is completed, how much is it going to cost? For now, I think I end there. Unless you didn't get me, then you are able to find out more so that I can repeat myself.
You have put it very clear, and I'm very sure you have taken note. Please respond.
Thank you, Chair. As a council, we didn't wait for the, we didn't wait like this query, the way it's coming out, it was picked by the auditors who narrated the narrative that the honorable member has read out. So the council had started making arrangements to calculate what is supposed to be deducted from the contractor. Then the other question, let me invite the director be able to
Before
explain.
the director, you have come up with some statement that is not sitting very well. You said you didn't wait for the auditors. Honorable Kamondo has asked that. Why didn't you wait? Why did it take you all that long until auditors came for you to recover the adverse payment? But when you are making a statement, you said no. Actually, it's just the auditors who put it in this way. You had started doing something. What do you mean by that statement?
Oh, thank you, Chair. What I mean is that as management, we had started the process. We are in the process, but when auditors came, we had not yet recovered anything from the contractor. But the process of calculating how much is supposed to be recovered from the contractor, that process had started.
How long does it take usually?
On that one, Chair, it's not supposed to take long. So I'm saying that we are in the process, because these figures that you are seeing here, which the auditors picked, they were calculated by the local authority. So when the auditors came, they found that these figures were already calculated. So they picked these figures. So what the local authority did not do is the concern that has come from the honorable member of not infecting the recoveries. But the process,
that's the interest.
started.
That's the question. Why?
Chair, we just regret that we took long.
These are public resources, yes. According to someone fails to execute a project and is paid money, advance payment, the law says you should do that, then what are you doing in the office? What is your role? Why are you employed? If you know that these are public resources meant to benefit the people of CHAVUMA, someone has gotten money, then you don't do your work, then you say you regret. What is your relevance? Why are you there? Why did you neglect to do your duty? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. We have taken note. You have explained that there were just some mixed up as we are trying to push. Otherwise, we have taken note.
Who is this Dema? Is he a local contractor? What
No.
connections do you have? Someone who gets money, he cannot pay, then you say there was a mix-up. Why do you give a favorable, I don't know, you favor this contractor? A contractor who gets money is supposed to pay back to the council, and that's why you are employed, to ensure these things are done, and you just ignore it. What interest do you have, or any one of you in the council? Further, Honorable Kamondo has asked, how much have you recovered so far?
Thank you, Chair. We have recovered 5,000 kwacha.
From 2023?
The issue, Chair, is before the court of law, and they had come up with a payment plan.
Honorable, I will give first to Honorable Kamondo, if you have left before Honorable Mlunda and Dr. Manza.
I feel for our councils. The reason why I asked, actually, I'm not blaming you, Council Secretary, but I feel as a nation, we are losing a lot of money through these contractors. And the more these monies actually are with contractors, the more our people are deprived of the much needed buildings or schools and whatever which they are supposed to use. And this is not sitting very well with your government. It is not sitting very well with the government, because the people are not able to see the impact of CDF because of these contractors. Sir, Chair, when you look at this contractor, there was even some sort of, when you look at the action taken, cause of query, some debt swap, things like that.
Even
For me,
so attachments, if you read some of the appendices,
Yes.
he says, he responds to say, I don't have money, and yes, look at this, just read this. Sorry,
on appendix,
sorry, on the management response,
yes.
on the table there, the cause of query, failure to recover advance payment from the contractor was due to the inability by the contractor to honor the agreement,
Yes.
stating financial difficulties. That is the council telling this committee.
And also, I want to state that having gone through the documents, there's been an engagement with this contractor. To an extent that some officers were asked actually to sit down with this contractor, to urge him actually to pay back this money. And also some consultation now was done to the CS, who also made the same. But this contractor continued behaving in a very strange manner. So now we are left with a situation where we start thinking, is it the contractor or is it the inefficiency of the council? And if it is the contractor, why is this contractor behaving in this manner, even when there are engagements? Even the evidence which has been put here, is it relevant? Because when you engage someone, someone is supposed to show seriousness. And as you have heard actually from our CS, they have only paid 5,000. Chair, is this the way we are going to recover government resources? And also the last one, maybe others, I think my colleagues can also continue. How far is this building now, which this contractor, and on the other contract that you had given this contractor, has he finished it or not? Because there is something to do with the market and whatever, where there was some debt swap. And I also asked that you didn't give us the pictorial evidence. We are interested. Did you recover the 148, indeed, 1,480 blocks, inclusive of the cement 50 pockets? Did you actually receive it for the people of CHAVUMA? And if you did that, for the sake of your committee, what evidence do you have to show this committee and the people of CHAVUMA, yes, indeed, you corrected this? Because we might be talking about the debt swap and whatever, yet this person who looks to be a special person, who is the contractor, has not even paid even the He has not given them even the cement and the blocks. I think it's just that maybe you give us some history about.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I'll start with the amount which he has started paying. As the management, we had taken this issue to the court of law. And maybe on that one, I'll allow the counsel advocate maybe to say one or two things.
Advocate, help us.
Yeah, so the issue was taken to court, and it ended in a consent judgment. And he made, according to the consent judgment, he made a payment plan of 12 months installment. And he paid.
Sorry, pull your mic.
Closer.
He did pay the first installment.
Again?
He did pay his first installment on the 31st March of, that's a 5,000, that's as evidence which has been brought here. But there's an application before court, and we responded to the same. We're just waiting for the hearing date.
There was a schedule of a payment plan, and he committed, I saw it somewhere, and after the 5,000 he paid, the next month he was supposed to pay. Has he paid?
No, he hasn't paid, but there's an application. He made an application before court.
For what?
Yeah, he made an application and we responded to the same. I don't think I can go into details because you are yet to appear before court.
So who is this DEMA construction? Is it a local contractor from the province or from Chingola or Chasefu?
Is from Chingola.
Chingola.
Yes.
Okay. Where is the cement and the blocks before I ask Honorable Mlunda? Did you collect them?
Yes, Chair. The cement, or in short, the materials were left on site, and the materials were used by the school. And there's also the evidence where the school committed itself to have gotten the materials.
How?
Thank you.
Did you authorize?
No. They just got the material without the consent of the local authority.
Are you in charge as the local authority? Are you in charge? How can the school find blocks then that do not belong to them, then they use all the materials without you as a council informing you? Do we have a director engineering or anyone at the council without your knowledge?
Yes, Chair. It's something which also surprised us because the project is at their school, so they just decided to to get the materials. Maybe I invite the director to maybe shed more light.
Thank you, Chair. When you look at Appendix 2, there's a letter from the school that they wrote to the council upon querying them on the whereabouts of the materials, where they stated that they used the materials to construct an ablution, or rather a toilet, according to their letter. Thank
yes,
you,
we understand director engineering, but the issue is they cannot just take possession of materials that are not theirs. The issue we are asking and interrogating here is the council in charge of CDF? Is the council in charge of the administration, general administration, under the devolved system? The council is at the helm. The DEBS reports in the council, director of health, and if the DEBS gets an inquiry or any request from the school, that process of administration, we could be thinking too much. What is happening in CHAVUMA is different, because there's no way a school can take possession of materials that do not belong to them. They just write a letter and tell you that we have used the materials for construction of, and now you are in court with the Dema construction. What if he claims? And you be, I think when you are doing your financials, you had to deduct the materials and the blocks, meaning that the council has paid for the same materials. And if the council lost money value of the materials used for the ablution, did you authorize the construction of the ablution? The answer is no. So we are wondering as your committee. You see, when we look at local government, we think that you who have been privileged to run these councils, administer CDF, you are doing the correct things. You are in charge. On behalf of the Minister of Local Government, on behalf of the Commission, on behalf of the President, you are there. But what is happening there is Honorable Kamondo asks, is it the contractor or is the council? We see a weakness, very big weakness. Very big and very, this is a serious negligence. No authority. I don't know how and why you are existing. And when you say you are the council secretary there, in charge of what? Anyone, they will even get your vehicle one day, you are seated in the office, they will pick it. We have taken it to use it somewhere. It's possible. You are not assertive. So, next question was to come from you. Oh, addition. No next question. I think follow up.
Maybe a comment here on the same. Chairperson, I hear you and your concerns are my concerns. There is no way the local authority is in charge. Number one, I know council, we will not go into details, but the first thing that was supposed to happen is after this judgment, of course, we are supposed to contest that matter immediately. Because, you know, this money is 2023 and it's supposed to benefit our people in CHAVUMA. They were supposed to be used. There is no way you can have a leverage of waiting for 12 months. Public funds to wait for 12 months and we are at the mess of that contractor. It's unacceptable to start with. Two, now there is an order. And when there is an order, the payments are suspended. And when they are suspended, we don't know when the matter will come, and this contractor is buying time. This case drags up to the end of the year. He will start paying next year. He will be paying in 2027 the money that was supposed to come to us, I mean to be used by our people in CHAVUMA in 2023. Where is that carelessness coming from? That's why the question goes to what the chairperson is asking. What is the relationship with this person from Chingora? What is the relationship between that contractor and the local authority? Two, we have the headmaster that is going to write a letter and say, we forgot to inform you. We have used the blocks for toilets and other things. Why are we so careless in CHAVUMA? The question the chairperson asked, are you in charge of the district CS? As management, are you in charge? Is our money safe?
No.
Chairperson, I thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Munda. It's quite deflating. We're starting on a bad note. This report is short, but very bad report. So, no wonder you were dilly-dallying until auditors came. You just started to compute. No action. So, you see, if you hear there are councils who are doing very well, it's because of having an organized council secretary. If there is you see this problem, just know it's you. Could be some of the officers who are connected to that contractor. Even the headmaster knows that there is a problem here. But the issue that we have is these are public resources. Someone even contesting to pay, to repay, even these the liquidated damages from terminated contract, nothing. Advance payment, nothing. even the headmaster knows that there is no council here. There are people, but there is no authority. They can take blocks, do whatever they want to do. And here we are looking at there is CHAVUMA council, there are officers. But anyway, we have the commission coming next week. Dr. Wanza.
Okay, it's on the same, but on a different angle now. What I've observed from this is the council is not inclusive in the planning and the implementation of these projects. Why? Because at Kambuye, where you had awarded the contract to DEMA, and you later discovered that there was a similar project by ZipSip or something else. So this project belongs to education. DEBS needs to be, Minister of Education needs to actually take a lead in education projects. If it is a Minister of Health project, Minister of Health needs to get involved. Council is only providing the technical services and financial services, but the beneficiary institution needs to be involved from the time that the CDFC approves these projects. Was DEBS aware about a project at Kambuye at the time of project approval? The second question is, looking at the behavior that the school did to utilize the 1,480 blocks and cement, the school is not wrong. It shows they were not involved, because they were not even aware actually that there would be a project at Mukerangombe, because this project came from Kambuye, and they just went to Mukerangombe without consulting the school authorities, because you could have been, there's need for integration. And the school, the beneficiary institution, is the major supervisor. They are the whistleblowers, because they are 24/7 at the site. So was the school actively involved, Mukerangombe? The third one is, let's go to the financials now to calculate on the final settlement account. This contractor, Demas, was paid 145,000 kwacha as advance payment. Why didn't council liquidate the advance payment using the bonds, the advance payment bonds that the contractor provided? I've seen you've had extended time extension. So whenever you grant extension of time to a contract, even the bonds are also extended. So why didn't you go and cash using the bonds? And the calculation, you're saying there are 50 pockets of cement and 1,480 blocks. In short, these are like materials on site. The materials on site costed 48,971. So you deducted from 145. So if you just do a quick calculation, or even I give you the price of cement to be 200 kwacha per pocket, or 300 kwacha per pocket, the maximum that you can calculate is about 25,000 kwacha. But here you are, the bill is 48,971. Even the blocks, whatever size, whether 6-inch or 8-inch, 1,480 blocks, even if it is, say, even I give you 20 kwacha per block, it cannot go to this amount. What is the price that you pegged the price cement and the block for you to arrive at 48,971?
The second one is
Just, you have loaded them too much.
Yes.
I'll give you a chance to do a follow-up. CS.
Thank you so much, Chair. On the part of whether the council is on top of things in the district, I want to respond that yes, council is on top of things, and even Minister of Education is under the council, and their staff also participates in the CDF activities. At technical appraisal, they're also involved. But we need to take note that the application process for the CDF project started from 2022. And when it started, there was no information as to whether there is a project that has been allocated to that area, to Kambuye. So that's one point. The second point is on whether the head teacher was involved or he was aware about this project. Yes, Chair, I want to state here that the head teacher was very much aware, because the contractor mobilized on site and the excavation works had started. So the head teacher was fully aware about that project and the need of that project, because that project was demanded by the same community through the ward development committee, except this head teacher did things on her own without consulting the local authority or management. Coming to the bond,
Maybe on that one, what comes to you? What makes this head teacher to behave in this manner? Well, that is indiscipline. What action did you take? Did you report to the DEBs, or what makes a head teacher? Maybe they were just frustrated with your type of management. They say these people are not serious, we can do, because
Who is right? Because the cement was going to harden, and they were just left with a foundation that stayed there for more than 8 months.
direct engineering, were you the one who was there?
Yes, Chair, I was present at the time. And to respond to the other question on the cost was not entirely the materials. If you can check on Appendix 2, the cost involved this letter, which is indicated debt swap. There were 2 projects that were involved. The very
Involved
project.
what? Tell us.
take you through. The price, the advance was 145,000 kwacha.
Your mic.
The advance payment was 145,000 kwacha. So you had to do a final settlement looking at the progress of work that he had done on site. So what you could only lay your hands on was 50 pockets of cement and 1,480 blocks, which you calculated to be 48,971. So from 145,000 kwacha, deduct 48,971, you remain with 96,000 kwacha. 96,000 kwacha, the contractor, you went into a debt swap. He had done a project, a market shelter. You were owing him 27,000 kwacha. So he gave it up. That is how the 68,000 kwacha came about, which went for litigation. So my question is, on the 48,971, it's only the cost for cement and the 1,480 blocks. How
Are we
come?
moving together, Director?
How, what, sorry, I just asked a simple question. What was the rate that you applied for a bag of cement and a block?
Thank you, Chair. Just as it has been tabulated, the cost of works for the Mkelangombe project, as well as the cost on the market shelter, in the cost that is targeted towards the Mkelangombe project involves the materials as well as the initial works that were done. So in the initial works, the cost is tabulated. However, I wish to respond to the part that refers to the materials. So the materials in terms of cement, the 50 bags, at the time of doing the calculations, the cement was about to expire. It wasn't costed. For the blocks, 1,480 at that time, they were equivalent to 7 kwacha each, which translated to a total cost of 10,360 for the blocks. So this was the tabulation. Then for the works that were done, they amounted to 38,611. So these costs are the ones that made up the cost of works done against what was paid, amounting to the contractors owing 96,029 kwacha, while the works he had done on the other project amounted to 27,972.71, which gave a difference that the contractor was owing in total 68,056.29. Thank you.
You see, you are being general. Now you have excluded cement. That cement was not costed because it was about to expire. You see, you are very careful. But what we can deduce is that you have been very negligent on your part. You don't care. What Honorable Gangmondo, this committee, said is that these are public resources. You are playing around with them. You can allow cement to cake, to expire. For you, it doesn't move you. And yet we have a problem as a country with the resources. And the government says, let's develop CHAVUMA. Honorable Gangmondo.
Would have loved to settle this matter, maybe, but he has now opened another very bad situation. Because if we now start removing the cement, we are not going anywhere. When you look at the auditors, like that's why I read actually the query. I read it here. Maybe let me read it.
Read it too. Let's allow him to read, to be fair.
The balance, he
let him read
yes, on the failure, first failure, and first paragraph, line number 3. Start reading from there.
Director.
On page 3. Yes. Page 3, sentence number 3.
Pull your mic closer to your mouth.
As at October 2024, amounts totaling 145,000.
Page 3. You should be moving with the rest of the team here.
Where it says total cost?
Failure to remove, yes, but recover advance payment.
All right. On 26 March 2024, the council and the contractor agreed that the contractor should refund 68,056 out of 145,000 that was paid as advance payment. The balance of 68,056 was arrived at after deducting the value of 50 pockets of cement and 1,480 blocks that the contractor had left on site, and that can be used for the construction. However, as at 31st October, the amount of 68,056 had not been recovered.
You can, yeah. We just wanted you. Can you repeat where they say after recovery of?
Balance that was paid as advance payment. The balance of 68,056 was arrived at after deducting the value of 50 pockets of cement and 1,480 blocks.
You can stop there. So, what did you pick from that statement with what you just told this committee the value of cement and blocks, then you would tell us that no, cement was not costed because it was about to expire, so it was not part of this. What are you telling this committee?
Thank you, Chair. As can be seen, this is the query that was raised by the auditors, basing also on the documents that were there, because before tabulating this, the materials on site were checked and listed. Then, if you can see, Chair, in the same Appendix 2, what was is attached is the cost of the works that arrived at these amounts that are reflecting. But the number of blocks and cement were those that were physically on site, but during the costing, the contractor was also available to confirm that this is what is here. But then on the cement, we couldn't take up that liability, so it's on the side of a contractor looking at the date of expiry. However, this is what was captured by the auditors looking at the time that the quantity.
Why didn't you challenge the auditors at that time?
Chair, usually there's that engagement with the auditors, but at times we respect their report, but there's always an engagement with them. At times. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mulunda, we go to the another question after this one.
Just a comment. That statement is not good, Chair. To give to your committee that at times we respect their. No, the auditors go there to settle the matters. When they walk into their district and they realize there is something that is wrong, it's the duty of the council to explain fully so that both parties are satisfied. Not at times you leave it just like that. So how are we going to write our report? At times we write.
You see, Director, you're not being fair to this committee. To tell you the fact, you are doing wrong things in CHAVUMA. Whatever you can say or do, you are doing wrong things there. You're not helping the community. Your actions, that's why even the headmistress can pick blocks, because they're not seeing any authority at the council there. And this speaks to the same. So you can't say that. Can you withdraw that statement?
Chair, I withdraw the statement.
Yes. Don't come here and you want to polish up your failures. We are reading your reports. And we are going to demonstrate now, going to another question. You see that we are doing nothing there to talk about. You are a local government. You are a local authority. You must show. The other departments there, they must take lead and, emulate your type of leadership. But you are not doing that. The president has given us a lot of money. All these monies we are talking about, you are failing to recover advance payment. Someone is even contesting. You are failing you had an insurance bond that you could have cashed. You have not answered that question, yes. Why didn't you cash that insurance bond?
Thank you, Chair. The problem was when there were those back and forth the situation where the project was being shifted from Kambuye to Mukerangombe. It was during that time when the bond expired. However, we have taken note of your consent, Chair.
The bond. Sorry. Let's move to another question. I think we are not getting anything. Honorable, welcome. Another question, Dr. Mwanza.
Yes, maybe just a message of a word of comfort to the school at Mukelangombe. What is there for them in terms of a project now, for this project?
What's the status of the project now?
Yes. Are they going to have one by this classroom block built at Mukelangombe? And this, are we having the funds? This is the funding for 2022 or 2023? Two questions.
Thank you, Chair. There's progress there at the same project. The new contractor who has been awarded there is serious with the works. So the project will be completed, Chair.
What will be the final cost of the project?
Yes. What contract price did you?
And what contract price did you give? It was 500 and something. Is it the one I saw? 580.
Initially it was 580 for DEMA. For the new contractor it's 1,148,000.
Now have you seen what you have caused? A 1x3 classroom block is going to cost 1.6 million. Plus. Because of your negligence. Because of your failures as management. It's going to cost, it is unprecedented. This will be the most expensive. And you don't care because these are public resources. The president will just give money. Just like that. So it's quite sad. Our job is just to make recommendations. But we shall see. Next is you are just transferred or even promoted for causing problems. That 1.6 million could have done even 1x2 classroom blocks at different sites for the people of CHAVUMA. So you see now, we saw it and it's sad. We can't do anything but to make recommendations. But the people of CHAVUMA are watching. The people of CHAVUMA want to see development. The failures are not with the member of parliament. The failures are not with the president, the government. The failures are with you officers. You are the people who are technocrats to advise and also monitor these projects. These are the weaknesses. Honorable, last one on this one?
No,
different one.
in relation to what
Okay.
we're talking about on the other project.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. What we are trying to, when we went through this report, I personally realized that this is a common problem with most of the councils. And the contractors, whether it's the contractors, have seen a very big weakness on the councils. So they have taken advantage of it. You are not the only council, but we have seen many councils. And that should actually be an eye-opener to all the councils that I think it's either we are not doing a good thing or these contractors are conniving with our workers. Let us look at the first project at Kahokola Primary School. This project at Kahokola Primary School, I will not read the query, but I just wanted to go to your responses that you have given and the action taken. First of all, you have said cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the contractor failed to complete the project within the contract period. Management wishes to report that the contract was terminated and re-awarded to another contractor. Then the action taken is that the works on the project are progressing well and the project is expected to be completed by 30th June 2025. And when you look at this, it's the same scenario. Some people do just wish to abandon the project. Why is it that this disease has continued on CDF projects? We should interrogate further to find out which is this enemy which is actually trying to work against the government good ideas. Chair, I think we should interrogate further. And it is disheartening now. That's why I said this one is in relationship to the other contracts. which you said it is going to cost more than 1 point something million. Now the
It's
question,
deliberate, Honorable.
my first question is that, is the council doing a due diligence in awarding these contracts? Where is actually the Department of Engineering? Does it mean that these contractors are taking advantage because they are costing these contracts very, very little money? And deliberately they know that if this contract is constructed at this amount, it is not going to be completed. But they still go ahead to award. And these same contractors, they are still attracted, and they show that they are going to construct within the amounts that are given. Then later on they abandon. Where is the problem? Now, I wanted just to find out this contract, which is progressing very well, what would be the total contract cost to be completed, up to completion point? When it is completed, how much is it going to cost? Then from there, I will have another question, then I conclude.
CS. Thank you, Chair. Let me invite the Director.
Thank you, Chair. Relating to the amount, 512 was for the completion from where the other contractor left.
So total will be?
It will be 260 for the...
Let me just help him. Can you confirm that the total cost will be 512,000 plus the 276,821, which is coming to 778,821,000 kwacha? Could that be the total cost?
Correct, Chair.
Now, Chair, you agree with me that the Department of Engineering is not doing a good job. Why didn't they cost it at 700, even 800 from the inception, so that this contract could have continued and be completed on time? Why didn't you do that due diligence? And also, can you also agree that this problem partly has been caused by the Department of Engineering?
Yeah, so we have Mukerangombe 1/3. That will cost 1.6 million. And here at Kahokola Primary School 1/3, it will cost 700,000, and the progress is there. So from Kerangombe could have done 2 1/3 classroom blocks. Are you seeing that, CS?
I'm following, Chair.
Are you agreeing?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. So this is the concern. We are not going to watch the councils take advantage of the funds, abuse the resources. That will not happen. We shall raise our flag. We shall raise the flag. The Zambian people, the government should see who is doing wrong things in terms of implementation of CDF. So the question is, what is the status of this same? You said it's going to be handed over by month end of this month. Do you have any pictures that we can look at?
Thank you, Chair. This project is completed. We have the pictures.
So it's completed at 700. So the observations by honorable members, it's you officers and engineering, the concern that we have generally, the engineering department, procurement and audit, these are becoming a danger. The success of CDF, if you have engineering department doing the correct things, this country will change. Procurement, there is suspicion of colluding or conniving with the contractors. That is not for CHAVUMA. Generally we feel that is happening. And already yesterday I have information of one council I will not mention. Evidence is there. So if procurement are doing the correct things, due diligence is done, engineering, they're doing the correct things, this country will change. The auditor, they are allowing payments without going to site to see what milestones have been scored. IPCs they're paying, they're just making payments. Pay this pay. You find that you have overpaid. Then the council secretaries are just made to sign. They're just signing. That's the weakest point. The owner of the council, the chief executive, should have the first-hand information. But this is not happening. So you find that those good councils which are doing very well, you see the council secretaries. Just the other day we had the Sinazongwe. You can even the way they are presenting, you can see that this is a council secretary, this is a town clerk. They know what they are doing. But certain councils, you can tell just from your presentation, even yourself, you have no confidence. You know that what you are doing is not correct. Yesterday we had one council. When we said they were adjourned for afternoon, so no, they should have finished with us. It had a lot of problems. So our role as the committee is to expose you, so that tomorrow we have corrective measures for the good of this country. We shall expose you and we shall encourage those who are doing very well, so that this country can change. Next question, Dr. Mwanza, as we wind up.
It's just a follow-up on this. Just a short one. The Kahokola Primary School. The contract was terminated on 26 December 2024. And at the time of terminating the contract, the value or the cost of the outstanding works was 215,557. That is,
engineer, you should be following.
That is by December 26, which is basically just January 2025. So within 1 month, a new contractor was procured by the name of Jomak. Jomak Contractor is the one who was contracted to finish the outstanding works. The price to finish the outstanding works by Jomak Contractor is 512,000 kwacha. My question is, within 1 month, because the contract was terminated on 26 December 2024, and just 1 month you procured another contractor. At the time of terminating the contract, the value of the outstanding works was 215,000 kwacha. Then a new contractor comes in, he is given the contract twice the value of those outstanding works within a space of 1 month. What made the price to jump twice the estimation that you carried out at the final account to check that the value of the outstanding works were valued at 1215, but then within 1 month you procure another contractor who the pricing was twice. And then I'm interested, this project is a 2022 funding, the Kahokola 2022 funding. Why the funds have been sitting in the account from 2022 to only implement this project in 2025, such a long period, 2.5 years. I've just calculated 2.5 years for a 1x3 classroom block. What challenges were there so that we perfect as in the next CDF allocations?
Let's allow them to respond. Both projects that we are looking at, they are 2022. I saw them, isn't it? They are all 2022, and it has taken 2.5 years for you to do a 1x3 classroom block. The other one is not yet even done. So that's a concern. Why should you take 2.5 years to construct a 1x3 classroom block? So respond to those concerns. Yes.
Let me refer to the director. Come into.
Do you have procurement? Procurement, can you help? You have been quiet. You are the one who does the procurement.
Thank you, Chair. The initial contract, which was a 2022 funding, but awarded in 2023. So looking at the time period, we couldn't award the contract at the same rates which were there in 2022. So there was an additional funding to ensure that there's completion of this project. Thank you, Chair.
Are you talking about, we're talking about the time lapse to procure these projects. The funding was into account in 2022. It has taken 2.5 years to implement these two projects. In fact, the other one at Mukelangombe is still maybe at 60% or 80% complete, whilst at Kaokola, you're saying it's complete. Why such a long period? And whilst when you terminated the contract at Kaokola, you terminated on 26 December 2024. And
within a month.
Within a month, you, at the time of terminating the contract, you evaluated the cost of the remaining works. The remaining works are listed on page 3. I mean on page 2. So it was just what the other contractor came to do is plastering, metalworks, flooring. And when you costed these works, they were costing 215,000 kwacha. And this time you acted swiftly within a month.
Within a month?
We terminated the contract in December, actually end of December, 26 December, just a day after Christmas. You terminated the contract, and then within a month you procured another contractor. Which also this rate of procurement is questionable, because looking at the
system,
the EGP to take
evaluation
flotation period is more than the shortest is maybe 2 weeks if you seek permission. But anyway, you procured, and then you procured that twice. The price that you evaluated just within a month. So in your part as procurement, we're asking why the funds were in your account in 2022, and you can still drag on till 2.5 years. A flat house, a room, I mean a 1x3 classroom block, surely.
That's what we want to get from you, procurement. The monies for 2022 were there in your account, and you took 2.5 years to procure a contractor for a project for 2022. What was the problem? But after termination, within a month, you worked efficiently to get another contractor. What was the problem then in 2022, 2023?
Chair, maybe just to say, I moved to the council in 2023 August, so I'm coming in at the time. But in this project from 2022 funding, but the procurement process started in 2023. Yes.
Why did it take long? When the money was sitting there, depriving the people of Kahokola the much needed service project. So what we cannot get anything, honorable members. I think I will allow first honorable Paviuma, then yourself. A new question, was we can't get anything from the project management issues from CHAVUMA Council.
Thank you very much, Chair. With your indulgence, may I take the committee to page 15?
Let's go to page 15.
Chair, on the cause of query, on Appendix 2.4, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries, cause of query, they are telling us that management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that unspent funds amounting to 1.18126938 as per audited balance during the year under review were due to returning students who were not paid for the in full during the year under review. And on the action taken, they are saying they've since spent 1,001,619,000, and they've referred us to Appendix 7, Chair, as where the evidence is cited. Chair, the meaning of this is that the local authority had cash in the account for the students, reserved for the students. And when you look at the payment vouchers on Appendix 7, they only made the payments in March and April. The term is when the term was almost finishing. So my first question is, you had the funds in the account. Why did you pay? Why did you make late payments when the term was almost finishing to the students who could have benefited from the meal, especially the meal allowance? The meal allowance. And where is the student head count register confirming having received the meal allowances? Why do you behave like that? You have the money in the account. You make students suffer. You only pay in April and March when the term is almost finishing. Those are my first two questions, Chair.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, your mic on.
Thank you, Chair. This was attributed to the fact that recruitment was not done once. It was done twice in a year. So this was the last payment which was done for the last shoot in the previous year. Thank you.
Chair, where are the payment vouchers indicating the first payments which were done in the semester? Because it's common knowledge, Chair, when all the semesters, despite being January intake, being June intake, the month when the semesters end is not. So where are the other payments, the other payment vouchers that will indicate that indeed these are the ones you paid first? And again, Chair, on page 22, on the same, which is the matter that relates to the same, when they had the low uptake, they are telling us that they engaged the community. Immediately after making those payments in March, I think 24 March, 31st March, they even wrote to the ministry to ask for varying the funds. Why did you do that? Because after sensitization, obviously, you expected some improvement. Was it just business as usual, or you are just trying to mislead the community that you engage the community? Because if you engage the community, definitely you expected some improvement. And those people, if they had come now in numbers after your sensitization, which funds were you going to use? Since you quickly went to vary the funds to divert them to the projects. I think your letter is dated the 31st March 2024. Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. The number of students are determined by the number of applications that the local authority receives. So if you look at the number of applications received are not adequate, then you already know that will not meet the target. That's the reason why we're quick to write the ministry for variation. Thank you, Chair.
As we conclude, you had one short one time.
Yes, indeed. First of all, I want to also talk about the positive thing about CHAVUMA. Through your chair, I want to encourage CHAVUMA to continue getting following the defaulters. Because when I was looking at it, when the auditors came, the rate at which you were moving at 10%. But after having actually written demand notices engaging actually the defaulters, you improved to 20%. So that is the positive about CHAVUMA.
The 20% is not positive.
All right, but I wanted to say that at least if they continued engaging actually these defaulters, it is something that is doable. People are ready to pay back. But the only problem that is there, we are not engaging them enough. I think that is my point. However, we have an issue on the desks. The desks are 355. Page 22.
Yes, let's go to page 22.
That's a short one. And we have been told on the action taken, management wishes to state that the 355 desks amounting to 200,945 were delivered and the relevant documents are available for verification. So, this is a good job, the desks were delivered, but what your committee chair is interested is to make sure that the actual beneficiaries get the desks. Because what necessitated the acquiring of desks is actually the beneficiaries who wanted to use them. But now, when we look at what is available here, it's showing us that we have two documents here. I was expecting to get more documents than this. One is goods received voucher, which is a GRV, indicating the 105 desks. And this one, I'm sure it is the office of the DEPS who had received these desks. However, we don't have any document to show which school had received these desks. So I wanted to know if at all that information is there, it can be tendered before this committee so that at least this query should be concluded in a better way. Thank you, Chair.
CS, what evidence do you have to show that these desks were really received? Is it the DEBs who received on behalf of all the schools? We want to verify, for fear that some of the councils will just tell you that we have acquired, and we get feedback from the very people who are listening to say the council are not telling the truth. There are no desks here. So our role is to verify where is the evidence, proof that the DEBs for CHAVUMA received on behalf of the schools. And these schools in CHAVUMA, they have now desks. If not all of them, but some of them have desks. Appendix 14.
Thank you, Chair. We have this document, which is on Appendix 14. The goods received voucher, which was signed by the deputy head of this school, the CHAVUMA boarding school.
How many desks?
There were just 355.
All of them went to one school?
Yes.
Okay.
On Appendix 14. Yes. Second last.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yes.
And this was in 2023.
Yes.
When were you queried?
This is.
When were you audited?
2024.
So at the time of audit, these desks were already delivered to CHAVUMA.
Boarding school?
Your mics should be off. Yes, yes.
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 Yes, they were already delivered, except at the time of audit, the goods received notes were not availed to the auditors.
Why?
They were, I think, misplaced. They were just misplaced, but they were there.
We can conclude here. Before we conclude, we are joined by our honorable member for Mangango and the honorable member for Busakire. they didn't introduce themselves. Honorable Member for Mangango, you can introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm Mwene Luhamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Sakini.
Thank you, Chair. Town Council. Good morning. Kalobo CHAVUMA is my name. I represent the good people of Sakine constituency, Kitwe in the Copper Belt.
Yes, Council Secretary, it's not a laughable matter, but you make us laugh sometimes because we hold you to high esteem by virtue of your positions, but what comes out is worrisome. We tend to wonder whether what you are doing in those offices, you are doing the right things. The auditors come to your office, you misplace a document. The whole 2023, 2024, the document is not there. But now, after being audited, you bring a document, and you supplied 355 desks to one school, CHAVUMA Secondary School. And the people of CHAVUMA will confirm whether those desks really went to the secondary school. But we are very sure that what you are giving responses is just to answer us and clear yourselves, and not what is obtaining on the ground. You are being unfair to the nation. You are being unfair to the people of CHAVUMA, you officers from CHAVUMA Council. When you look at project management, generally, you are doing poorly. If you look at the outstanding, I'll just read 2022 community projects. You had undertaken 58 projects, implemented 23, work in progress 30. Outstanding, as at the time of audit, 2022 projects which were outstanding, there were 5. Coming to 2023 projects, you had undertaken to do 23 projects, implemented 5, work in progress at the time of audit 11, outstanding 7. And just interrogating the 2-3 these projects, you can tell the picture can tell that you are not doing very well. So when you sit as officers, what do you tell yourselves? The culture is you want to defend your positions. But as we read the reports, this committee does not fabricate or manufacture any information. It's from these reports. And we thank the Auditor General's office. This office is helping this country to bring out what is happening. Yesterday we had one council. There is a culture paying themselves officers double payments, electronic and a check. For one activity within 2 days, they get double payment. CDF money being abused. Here we are in CHAVUMA. From this, you can tell a picture. But we are concerned that in this country we have councils. The list now is big of officers with the same qualifications. Some of them humble. You are better qualified than them, but performing very well. The people who have the heart for the country, they are doing very well. But you, it's business as usual. And this is a culture that has been there for long. You are not changing with time. If you're Charlie, if you're Chiri, if you're Chikaba. Even when we highlight these issues, you go back and say, no, that committee is being unfair to us. Is this fair you are doing to the people of CHAVUMA? Is it fair? The answer is no. So if you are not changing, we shall help you change. We shall insist to the commission. That's why we have a permanent witness, and the commission will come here and the minister will come. We shall submit humbly on behalf of Madam Speaker that we want to see change. When the president gives money to develop the country using CDF and the councils must be equal to the task. In fact, you must seize this opportunity, because before that there were no resources to do You are just waiting to get paid. People are not paying salaries. Now you have salaries under local government equalization fund, and you have been given what to do. Buy machinery, do the roads, build schools for the people there, and now you have targeted the money, the CDF, conniving with contractors. Contractors even refusing to pay an advance. There must be someone connected to that contract. They cannot do that. Even you, sometimes you chief officers, if you are not assertive, you find that some of the young officers or your subordinates are the ones who prevail over you. They are too powerful than you. You just follow like that. But it's your name at the end of the day, as we shall look at you as a person who is failing. Especially when you start tampering with public resources. These are meager resources. Situations are tough. The government is trying to correct the situation and develop the country. Then we shall not allow you to frustrate that. So we shall make our recommendations individually and collectively. We write. I've got this diary. I write every day to be fair to this country, so that next year we have people who are going to come and say we have 0 audits in CHAVUMA. But with this team, I don't think that you have 0 audits in CHAVUMA. The immunity is withdrawn. From now on, you are on your own. Travel well. Thank you.
So much for still being with us on Parliament Television. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has just received submissions from CHAVUMA Town Council that was led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Isaac Kangombe, and they were making their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. So just now we stand by for the second witness to appear before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. On live commentary, my name is Matimba Mkua, and on sign language, I'm joined by Chola Kauma and Jason Manda. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good afternoon.
Did you know the proposed amendments to the Constitution